Okay, so this is what the set's going to look like. Might run a little luggish on my machine right now because I'm running it off a USB drive and I'm also running screen capture. So you're going to see your tracks over here. This one, this Uptown Funk, um, that's a free one I give when they buy the template, and so it's in there. So I figured I'd just leave it in there for you. So you have your over here. Scroll over this way a little more. You're going to see your a couple different click tracks, count in, click, count in. That's because these are MIDI and these are audio. So sometimes if certain click tracks just don't line up, we use audio. A lot of times the karaoke ones don't line up, so I just use the audio. And same with the count in. Count in's a lot easier to make with MIDI, and so that's why I have these over here. Sometimes they don't line up, so we use audio. But you're counting. If you click on the top of the count in one, you'll see the sampler down here that's running your, you can see right here where the samples are at. So if you scroll where that little black box covers that, you can see intro. I don't know if you're hearing this, but let me, yeah, you can't hear it because it's going through my headphones. But anyhow, if you click on those with your headphones on, because I have them routed to headphones, you'll be able to hear the intro, that kind of stuff. Anyhow, on your interface, how I have this set up right now is and your interface should work the same. Is if you press the by your headphone button, you have an A/B button. So I have these routed out my headphone output, which is 3/4. So with yours, I'm not quite sure what your headphone output would be, but what you would do is you'd come over here because this is your click and your count in monitor sub bus. So you'd come over here and you'd pull that down to I don't know if it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, what it'll be. You'll have to look at your guide and see which output your headphones are, and that'll come out your headphone bus. Now we have control over your. You can come out any outs you want, but if you come out the headphones and you have a volume knob, to give your whoever's wearing the headphones a little more volume or whatever from the headphone preamp. But one thing you want to do when you first open this setup is you want to go up to Preferences and go to your Audio tab. So you might look up this one, but you want to go to Audio tab, and then you want your input and your output to be your probably see UCM 404. Mine says 204. And then you want to go to Output Configuration, and you want to make sure, because this might look like this when you first open it. You want to make sure that every single one is highlighted. That way they're active. And then just click OK. And then you can get out of that. And so that'll set you up. So now, like I said, these are all routed. All your clicks are all routed out of this monitor send right here. This click. The reason it just says A there, it's just different. You'll see, like this is A. If I added a new subgroup, it would be B, and C. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So anyhow, that's what this is right here. This is A, which is your A sends, which is click monitoring. And so this, when you send this out, your monitor out, which on mine case would be 3 and 4. This will be the mix for whatever's coming out that monitor send. Like so your drummer's mix. So if something's a little loud, you can turn it down here. So say like if he doesn't want drums in his monitor, you can actually just turn it all the way off, or you can bring it up and give him a little bit of drums in the monitor. These are track drums, and that way you can kind of see what the right beat is. That's kind of what we do with our drummer. Is I just give him a little bit of the recorded drums in there, and then. And yours might be gray. My background is I have it set to black, but yours is going to be gray. So these are mute. So like say if you don't want a drum, you say you have a drummer playing, so you don't want to have any drum tracks coming out the main out, you just mute that. That's muted now, or unactive, I guess. And say if you have a percussionist, you can mute the percussion. If you have, if you're you scroll over this way a little bit. And you can scroll from the bottom here, right here. Lead vocals, so you want to kill the lead vocals. Now the lead vocals are muted. Backup vocals, guitar, if you have a guitar player, you want to mute the guitar player. Now the guitar player is muted. Say if you have horns or a keyboard player. The keyboard player, though, I mean, it's good to keep the keyboards in there and just have the keyboard player play over the top, because then you just have all the keys going at the same time. But say if you have a bass player, you can also just turn the whole track down, so everything on this channel right here would come down. So you have a bass player, you can just turn this bass down, still have the bass in there, but then he can play over the top, But yeah, so anyhow, that's what you can do. Now mixing these, the way I mix them is I usually just leave these volumes, unless I'm going to do unless I want every single thing on here to be undermixed. So if I want every single track to be undermixed, then if I want all the bass tracks going for every song, but I just want them undermixed, then I'll bring this level down. If some tracks the bass needs to be louder, some tracks it don't, then what I do is I just leave those alone. And if you click on the clip of, like, say we're on Bruno Mars Uptown Funk, if I just click on the clip, double click on it, then it'll bring me up to this, and I can actually just bring the volume down for that one clip here. Now I can bring that bass track, way down or up a little higher, and that's how I kind of mix them. That way I'm not every song going through and messing with this little mixing board here. But I'm going to undo that. So anyhow, that's as far as clip. The same thing with if on one song I want to have a keyboard in it, but the next song I don't want to have the keyboard in it. On the next song, instead of having to sit here and run this thing all night long, what you do is you just go, okay, so say I want a keyboard in Uptown Funk, but in 24K Magic, I don't want that keyboard. So what you do is you click on that clip right there. So I'll click on the keyboard clip for 24K Magic, and then you hit 0 on your keyboard, and that mutes that one clip. And so now if I play this track, you're not going to hear the count in, but I had the headphones a little closer, maybe you might be able to. So now that one clip is muted, but everything else is open. And you can click on it and see, okay, so that clip's not even active, so it's not working. Oh wait, go a little longer. But if I click on this one, the next clip is going to be unmuted. So I'm not playing with this thing all night long. Hold on, let me wait for it to come in. It's going to be a while, but yeah, you can see that it's unmuted because you can see the timeline moving there. But anyhow, that's what you do. You just click on the clip you want muted for a certain track and hit 0. And if I hit 0 again, it unmutes it. So I click on it, 0 will mute it, 0 again will unmute it. So, and that way you don't got to, like I said, you don't got to go through and be muting all these things all the time. You can just leave them you can leave them unmuted and just go up here and mute the clips you don't want. So if I didn't want drums on this track, I hit 0, mute that one. If I didn't want percussion on this track, I'd go up clear, click on this clip right here, hit 0, I mute that one. Same if, like, say I didn't want bass on this one, I'd hit 0, mute that. Say I didn't also want no lead vocals, hit 0, mute that clip. Maybe backup vocals, don't need those because you have too many things, hit 0, mute that clip. So that's easier than muting these and then going back to the next song and unmuting them. That way there's already preset, you save it, you know what it is. If you're practicing at home, you can go back and unmute them and practice the whole song. So anyhow, that's about it. Just muting clips. If you're going to mix a clip, go here and say, okay, I want Cake by the Ocean, I want percussion to be a little softer. Double click on that and bring it down here. And that way you're not messing up your mix for your other songs. Because if I move this volume knob, it's going to turn down everything under percussion for every song. So it means on each song you'll be playing back and forth, going up and down. But if you do it by mixing the clip, then you just double click on the clip, bring the volume down from that clip, and you're good. Anyhow, so that's pretty much it. Like I said, the audio interface, this is going to go your click monitor. All you have to do, you don't got to play with any of these. Right here it says sends only, sends only. Actually, this should be sends only, not master. Oh, that's drums. Never mind. That should be master. So yeah, sends only, sends only, sends only, sends only. That's for all your whole counting and clicks. And this is your sends only, which is A. These are the Maunder mix in the headphones that is coming out of this right here. And you just take that out to whatever your headphone jack is, or you can come out, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, 7 or 8, whichever you want. But it's better to use those to send out other mixes to the sound guy. And I would just find out your headphone output, select that. Mine on my unit's 3 and 4, and then on your unit, you'll have to, in order to hear it, there's an A/B switch. If you don't hear the click on one setting, just push it in or pull it out, and you'll be able to hear the click on that DAW that you have. I mean, on that sound card you have. So hope that makes sense. And yeah, so that should wrap that up.